I guess my story starts when I was young. I have adopted parents. I grew up in the church. I grew up around Christianity my whole younger life, but I was rebellious and I hated authority. I hated anything to do with people telling me what to do, and I caused my parents a lot of pain and a lot of suffering.
Eben came to us in April of 1976. He was born in prison. His mother was what you would call a perpetual criminal.
He would go to prison and visit her, and she told him during these visits that he didn't have to obey anybody, that if she had him, he would be able to do whatever he wanted. And so he had this terrible anger and hatred of authority. Throughout his school time, he was constantly in trouble.
When I turned 15, my parents sent me to a group home. Well, my experience at this group home was not a lot because I ran away. I ran away every single chance I got.
He was a bad influence on the other boys at this ranch, and finally we received a call from the counselor to come over and visit. What they needed to share with us that Eben really wasn't appropriate for them anymore. So we just point blank asked him, Eben, if you come home, you're gonna have to obey, or you're gonna if you stay here, you gotta obey them, or you're gonna have to go back to foster care.
And immediately I chose foster care. I chose foster care because of the freedom. I knew I wouldn't have any parents to worry about, nobody telling me what to do.
We felt like extreme failures as parents.
A few months after being into foster care, I committed my first felony at the age of 15. I committed armed robbery and kidnapping.
He came to our house, broke in, stole my shotgun, my rifle, my hunting knife, and abducted a woman at knife point.
During the time I was in juvenile, it was a learning experience and not for the good. I learned what skinheads were, and to me, this attracted me because it was a brotherhood. Skinheads believe in 14 words, and that is, we must secure an existence for our race and a future for all white children. Upon my release, I didn't have anywhere to go. I hadn't had any contact with my parents, and I actually went to a skinhead training compound. I learned to shoot guns, hand-to-hand combat, explosives. Upon leaving there, I probated with a gang out of Southern California called P9. It's a skinhead group. Because of that, I ended up in prison. And in prison, day-to-day violence, race riots. I was involved in all of that. At the time, I had 6 real good friends, and we didn't like the way things were, and we didn't like the way people were acting, so we decided to start our own group in prison. And we did it, and we did it by violence. And during that time, I spent more time in the hole than anywhere else. The prison system tried to give me medication to calm my violence, and nothing would work. Now, that group is over 2,000 people in the state of Washington. In 1998, the counselor in prison told me I should call my family. I told him, well, I don't have any family. They go, you don't have any? I said, well, I have some adopted parents, but I haven't seen them in years. They said, well, why don't you call them? Maybe that'll help you. So I called them, and I didn't think nothing of it. Well, they agreed to come visit me. Before the visit, I'm thinking, well, I don't have anything to worry about. They can't tell me what to do. You know, who are they? My family's right here in prison.
I remember sitting there talking to him and asking him the question, did you ever kill anybody? And he said, no, I didn't. I said, well, I just want you to know, there were many times that I couldn't pray for you at all, but when I did pray, my prayer was very specific, that you would not kill anybody and that God would spare your life. He sort of smiled and he said, you don't know how many times.
During this whole visit, just looking at him, I could tell that everything that I had seen as a child and growing up in the church, that they really believed in Jesus Christ. So the visit came to an end, and as I'm on my way back to my cell, I'm kind of getting the urge to cry because I'm coming to the understanding that this whole time I've missed it, that this wasn't an act that my parents had been putting on, and I knew after that visit that Jesus was real, and it just blew my mind. So the next day I gave my life to Christ, and in prison, as a leader in a skinhead group, as somebody that's trained to hate Jews, especially the King of the Jews, this was quite an experience. I read the Bible every day, I prayed. Well, in 2005, I was released. A few months after being out, I went to a friend's house. That night, I ended up assaulting 3 people and putting 1 person in the hospital, and back to prison I went. And as a Christian, you wouldn't think that this was where I was headed.
And it was an example of what we see Paul saying, you know, I know what I should do, but I don't do it. And what I shouldn't do, that's what I do. And that's exactly what Eben struggled through.
I had my parents, I had a lot of my parents' friends and their church group and their small group sending me letters. I could talk to them on the phone. It just helped my relationship with Jesus grow even more. In 2008, I got out. I've been blessed with a wonderful wife, friends and family. I see God's blessing every day, but at the same time, I struggle every day. I struggle to always do the right thing. I struggle with my anger. As a young Christian, I'm just trying to grow in the Lord every day.